In this lesson, you will learn what graph data modeling is and the process that you follow for modeling your application. So the first question is, why do we model? If you will use a Neo4j graph to support part or all of your application, you must collaboratively work with your stakeholders to design a graph that will answer the key use cases of the application and provide the best Cypher query performance for the key use cases of the application. In the Neo4j Fundamentals course, you learned about the elements of a Neo4j graph. This is an example of an instance model where we have created 3 nodes, each with a label. Some nodes are connected to other nodes by directed relationships that have a type. And a node or a relationship can have properties that can be used to uniquely identify them in the graph. Here are the steps to create a graph data model. Understand the domain and define specific use cases or questions for the application. Develop the initial graph data model, which includes modeling the nodes and relationships. Test the use cases against the initial data model. In this step, you determine if the labels, relationship types, and properties are accounted for in the use cases of the application. Create the graph, which is the instance model, with test data using Cypher. Test the use cases, including performance against the graph. Refactor or improve the graph data model due to a change in the key use cases or for performance reasons. Implement the refactoring on the graph and retest using Cypher. Graph data modeling is an iterative process. Your initial graph data model is a starting point, but as you learn more about the use cases or if the use cases change, the initial graph data model will also need to change. In addition, you may find that especially when the graph scales, you will need to modify the graph, that is, refactor it, to achieve the best performance for your key use cases. Refactoring is very common in the development process. Here we see our original instance model. Then we can refactor the graph so that our most important queries will perform better, especially when the graph scales. A Neo4j graph has an optional schema which is quite flexible, unlike the schema in an RDBMS. A Cypher developer can easily modify the graph to represent an improved data model. This concludes our look at what graph data modeling is and the process that you follow for modeling your application.